skipper's hat off. This is Mum speaking now, okay? I know this is a bit of a readjustment, love. But when your dad and I lost our jobs, we wanted to make the best of things.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
We needed a fresh start. All of us, together, exploring the world.
Not quite all of us. You didn't want to bring Stella.
Oh, love. We all miss Stella. But a boat is no place for a dog. You know that, sweetheart. I bet right now she's having the time of her life digging out Uncle Pete's garden.
Michael, look! Dolphins!
See? It's not all boring chores.
And that is just a small part of Kensuke's Kingdom, which is a brand new animation. The screenwriter is the one and only Frank Cottrell Boyce, who joins us. Hello, Frank. How are you?
I'm very good. It's lovely to be here.
Based on a Michael Morpurgo book, of course. And the idea of Frank Cottrell Boyce doing the screenplay for a Michael Morpurgo book just sounds like an absolute winner. You know, I'm there. Before I'd even seen a single second of this film, I thought, I am going to really enjoy this. And I did really enjoy it. In fact, I loved it more than I thought I was going to. So, Frank, introduce us to how did you get involved in this? Because this is going back quite a way, I think.
It's going back a very long way. I looked at my contract and I think it's pre-decimal. My fees are pre-decimal. It's really a long time ago. I was at a book festival and Michael came over to me. I don't think Kensuke's Kingdom had even been out that long. But he said, Sarah Radcliffe wants to make it into a film. Sarah Radcliffe is like proper old school blue chip producer. And would you like to do it? And I blithely said yes. And it was a long, long time ago. But it's been, it's been nice, been fun. Been through many iterations.
So did it take a long time just because these things take a lot of time? Obviously there was COVID in between, but was this just the normal adaptation process? Or take us through it. So once Michael had asked you, what happened next?
Well, I wrote a script straight away. I think to start with, we were thinking of it as a live action. So we went down the route of trying to work with orangutans, which now I think, like, wow, were we ever thinking of that? It seems so questionable now, but I think it wasn't back then. And there were working orangutans, but they were proper starry. They were like, well, I've worked with Clint and you mustn't look me in the eye and I'll only work where I live. So it would all have to be shot in like Santa Monica. They were really difficult. So we dropped that and moved to animation, which just does take a long time. And actually making independent children's films is really difficult because you're up against really serious industrial strength filmmaking. If you make a thriller, you might find room for it, or a sort of even a rom-com. But with children's films, you're up against Pixar. You're up against really big guns. So it's quite difficult to find the room for that.
Did the switch from live action to animation require you to make any changes to your screenplay?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. I mean, Simon, it was an education. It was really an education for me. So, I mean, Michael's book is a lovely book. It's a really good book. And I think it's his best book. But it's a book, and his thing is like, he's got this problem at the beginning, which is that he wants an ordinary kid to be on a voyage around the world. And how do you do that? And there are pages and pages of setup, which I kind of really slimmed down and thought I was cool for slimming it down. And then as soon as we started talking to Neil and Kirk, it was like, well, it just starts on the boat. You don't ask those questions. And I can remember it's gone now, but they sent me this storyboard, and the film opened with an anchor coming up out of the bottom of the sea and being hauled up into this little boat, and then this little boat setting sail. It's like, wow, you just go. It's just ready, steady, go. And there's like, the backstory is now like one line that the mum says when you're 5 or 10 minutes into the film. It just had that sort of confidence and the swagger. And if you're in animation, you're straight away in story worlds. You don't need to kind of fries your character up into story. Yeah. There's no wardrobe to walk through into Narnia,
The Neil and Kirk you referred to, Neil Boyle and Kirk Hendry, who are the directors. So can you tell us the story then? Because it's a relatively straightforward story, but many people will not have read the original book. So where does it take us?
Well, it's very straightforward. There's a couple, there's a family, the mum and dad have been made redundant. They throw their money into sailing around the world. The boy smuggles his dog onto the boat and tries to keep it secret. They don't want to take the dog. He tries to keep this dog secret. There's a storm. In the storm, he has to go and kind of settle the dog. He's washed overboard and washed onto a desert island. At first, there's nobody there, though somebody starts sort of mysteriously feeding him, leaving food out for him, so he knows that there's somebody there. And the somebody turns out to be the classic trope. He's a Japanese soldier who was washed up during the Battle of the Pacific and decided not to go home because he heard about Nagasaki and knew that his family were gone. And that's kind of the whole story. But in the most important part, really, I think, is that guy, Kensuke, this is his kingdom, this little island, has made himself the protector of the wildlife on that island, which is a colony of orangutans who are threatened by poachers.